Hi, this is Asean Now and you're watching the Weekly Wrap. First up in Indonesia, the Jakarta administration is offering residents a reward of $1.50 for each rodent caught under its rat eradication movement. The city's Deputy Governor Jarod Saiful Hidayat started the program after a recent encounter with a large rat. He did not elaborate on how to catch the rats but advised people against using firearms. In the Philippines, a horrifying scene unfolded in Manila when a police van rammed into a group of anti-US protesters outside the US Embassy on Wednesday. Dozens of activists were injured, with at least 10 taken to hospital for serious injuries. When a fire truck sprayed the rowdy protesters with water, they took hold of the water hose and confronted the police with rocks and red paint. According to the van driver, he did not deliberately hit the protesters but was trying to drive away from them as they were hitting the vehicle with wooden batons. The protesters were supporting a call for a foreign policy free of US influence and for the removal of US troops in the country. An investigation has been opened to address the issue. Next, Singapore has just staged its biggest nationwide counter-terrorism exercise. Heavily armed troops from the police and Singapore Armed Forces took to hotspots in the island republic on Monday to seek out and neutralize a simulated terror threat. The 18-hour operation involved over 3,200 officers from Singapore's security agencies. The peak of the exercise was when mock terrorists armed with M16 rifles and explosive vests took hostages in a few shopping malls before being subdued early Tuesday morning. The operation was conducted to test a combined response between the home team and armed forces to a terror attack and to raise public awareness. In Malaysia, the local Islamic authorities' alleged recommendation for Auntie Anne's to rename its pretzel dog to pretzel sausage has stirred an online debate amongst Malaysians. The pretzel franchise revealed that among the reasons its halal certification was held up by the Malaysian Islamic Development Department, or JAKIM, was due to an item called the pretzel dog on the menu. The issue soon became the target of memes and jokes locally and also gained international spotlight. However, JAKIM has now backtracked, saying that the word dog is not the reason behind Auntie Anne's not receiving its halal certification. They added that their words were taken out of context and that the media had blown the issue out of proportion. Popular fast food chain A&W renamed their products from Coney Dogs to Coney Beef and root beer to the acronym RB 2 years ago. Heading back to Indonesia, 3 police officers were stabbed by a suspected Daesh supporter in Jakarta. The knife-wielding assailant was also alleged to have thrown a pipe bomb which failed to explode during the rush hour attack. The suspect was shot dead by security forces during the incident on Thursday. Police said that a second pipe bomb and a large IS sticker were found at the scene. We now head over to Bangkok with our Thailand partner Nation TV for the latest roundup from the northern ASEAN region.
Thank you very much, Kuala Lumpur, for your updates. And now let's take a look over the past week here in the Upper ASEAN region, starting off here in Thailand. As the Kingdom of Thailand is braving a stormy transition after the passing of the king, while adapting itself to better tolerate anti-royalists' demeaning of the beloved monarch. Angry words are expressed against the non-royalists' profanity on the social media, and a few non-fatal mob attacks on certain slanderers are reported. But the majority of the public is adapting to bear with the unkind words, which many still find difficult to accept. While ultra-royalists vow retaliation on the slanderers and seek extradition of those staying abroad to prosecute them in Thailand on the lèse majesté charge, most of the Thai public find peace in their heart after they choose to forgive the offenders and move forward together for a better united Thailand. Now moving on to Vietnam, as a non-profit organization found a poisonous substance in more than 100 samples of fish sauce across the country. The Vietnam Standards and Consumers Association tasted 150 samples of fish sauce in 10 cities across the country and found arsenic content in 101 samples. It was found that these samples contained an excess amount of arsenic content, which was higher than the 1 milligram per liter that was allowed. The fish sauce were from 88 brands and were taken from supermarkets, retail markets, specialty stores, commercial centers, and distribution agents. And now in Myanmar, a third major telecommunication company in Myanmar has started to offer 4G services in selected areas. MPT, one of the major telecommunication firms in Myanmar, now offers 4G network services in some locations in Yangon and capital Naypyidaw. The operator plans to cover the entire country next year. MPT becomes the third firm after Ooredoo and Telenor to offer 4G to customers. And now let's take a look on Cambodia, as the country will establish a commercial center in each of 3 commercial cities in China to promote Cambodian exports and culture. The centers will be located in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou and launched with the assistance of 3 Chinese companies. The move came after a visit to Cambodia in early October by Chinese President Xi Jinping. And our last story is from Laos, as an expansion of the Waterwork service in Laos capital Vientiane has begun after a loan was granted by a Chinese company. The Vientiane Water Supply State Enterprise injected more than about $100 million for the expansion and improvement of the water supply system in Vientiane capital. The money was a soft loan from a Chinese company that will be spent to develop and expand the water supply pipes stretching 450 kilometers in 3 districts. Once the project is complete by 2018, more than 95% of the population of Vientiane will have access to the sufficient water supply. And that's it for this episode of ASEAN Wrap from the Upper ASEAN region. This has been Sathapat Paetong, and now back to Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you, Bangkok, and thanks for watching. I'm Dina Murad. Have a good day.